Okay, hello all you people out there, this is Michael of 2.5 Studios, and welcome back to another one of these Game Maker tutorials. That word another trips me up every time, I swear. Anyway, this game is starting to take shape. You can walk around, it can play music, you can shoot bullets at enemies and stuff like that, you can die if you're to run into one of those enemies. But it still doesn't look like very much. All these boxes and blobs and the gray background and stuff, that doesn't really look like much. So, for the next few weeks I'm going to be dealing with the more graphical aspects of Game Maker, or some of the more graphical aspects anyway. So, I'm going to go into this folder, the downloads folder. As you can see, I was kind of scrambling for resources right before I started making this game, this video rather, and we're going to import a background this time instead of a sprite. So we're going to call this Super Mario World background, and we're going to hit OK, and we're going to go into the room editor, and up here in the top left of the form over here is tab that says backgrounds, and right now it doesn't say much. It just says draw background color. If you wanted to make the sky green, or green's a weird color for the sky, or blue or something like that, you can make it blue, or maybe just a plain white instead of that hideous gray, which I really should have done like a long time ago, but no matter. You can also assign a background. So over here where it says no background, you can click the drop down and you'll have your list of backgrounds that are over up here, and you can click Super Mario World background, and you can see it looks kind of awkward, but I'm going to be making it look better after I deal with covering the rest of these effects down here. Tile horizontally, tile vertically. You could only make it appear once instead of repeating like it does if you really wanted to. Honestly, there's only a couple situations which that could be useful, so you probably want to leave these on. You could also adjust the exact position in the room that they start with X and Y. For example, I'm going to start with Y because that would probably be more visible, but you can say 160 or 120, and you can see it, the position is shifted a little bit. I'm going to leave that at 0. You could, instead of saying tile, you could say stretch, but you can see that this is already looking very pixelated and very awkward. And if you had a longer room than 2560, maybe a 60,000 or something like that, that would really, yeah, that looks kind of bad. I'm going to not have that. So stretch is something you generally want to avoid. Additionally, you have the option to use this as a foreground image, and you can see all this disappeared. This, I'm going to undo the stretch, but this makes the background get drawn on the game on top of everything else, so the other things in the room are still there, but you just can't see them because the background's in front of them. I don't know exactly when that would be useful. In all my years using Game Maker, I've never once wanted to use something as a foreground image, so you most likely want to have that checked off as well. I know I'm going out of order here, but over here, you have background 0, background 1, background 2. You can store different backgrounds in a room for different, say, scenarios, and you can enable them and disable them. Right now, background 0 is the only one we're working with, and I don't have any other backgrounds on hand that we might be able to use as 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So I'm not going to do that right now, but you can switch them on and off through code. You can say, I'm just going to go into a code window. This is creation code, don't mind me. But you could say this to turn basically, come on, this off and make it invisible. And you could say something like, I'm just going to copy and paste that. True, and we're going to make it index 1, and you could say that to switch this one on and this one off, but we're not going to do that right now. Just know that that's something that you can do. I'm going to get rid of that because I obviously don't want it. Now, in terms of making this look a little better, there's a few things you can do. For example, you may notice that this doesn't exactly line up here where it repeats, and the way I'm going to deal with that, there may be a way to do it through code, but the way I'm going to deal with that is to say, to just cut it off a little bit, to crop it a little bit so that it lines up exactly. I did not want to do that, and I think I did this before I started recording, but I think the position where it'll tile like you want it to is 513, just on this specific background, not on all backgrounds, and you can see that it lines up much better now. I don't know why the person that posted this on the internet didn't make sure it tiled properly before they posted it, but no matter. Now you can also see that it repeats itself twice, and that looks kind of odd. And I'm just going to mess with the background a little bit so that it looks a little better. For example, now I'm going to approximately double the size so that it doesn't repeat itself, but now there's still a little bit of hill showing at the bottom, still visible when you run the game. And to deal with that, I'm just going to shift it down 32 pixels, so let's see, vertically Y offset is going to be 32. However, now it's showing at the top, so we're going to uncheck vertically and just adjust the color. And if we were to go into the background editor and hit the color, we'd see that the color is 255, 231, 181, and we're going to make this this background color 255, 231, and 181. And now, when you run the game, that looks at least better than it did before. You still have these hideous blobs and blocks and stuff, but I'm going to deal with that in the next video. So, I know that wasn't very long, there wasn't too much done in here. I did not talk at all about the tile set, which is an option that you can put on backgrounds in GameMaker, but I'm going to be covering that in a separate video because it has completely separate functionality than regular backgrounds do, so I hope you all enjoyed that. Rate, comment, and subscribe, watch some other stuff I have uploaded, and I will see you all later.